Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to be here. And anytime you get to be around coaches, football players, it doesn't get much better than that. But I'm honored to be here to spend some time with you today, and I know Coach DeRomedy is as well. I think the thing we can tell you is that the thing about leadership is this: the best teams always have the best leaders. You can't have a great team, a great program, unless you have leadership. And the coach is an important part of that, and his staff. But it also comes from the guys on the team, and particularly the seniors, and particularly the guys who are selected by their teammates as captains. And so, and you know, if you ask 25 guys in this room to stand up and define leadership, you get 25 different answers, because there are a lot of different styles, different types of leadership. And so today, hopefully, when you leave here, you're going to be able to take some things back that will help you become a leader, an influential man on your team, and help them to reach their goals. The one thing that I always try to instill in our senior class at Michigan was the fact that leadership is not telling other people what to do. It is modeling what they do. In other words, it's how you do your job. And so often, the thing that happens as a leader, he thinks, well, do this, do that. And really, that's not what you want to get into. And I think that's part of what you're going to learn today. It is representing and doing a duty. Because if you're a senior or if you're elected as a captain, you have the great honor and also the great responsibility to be unselfish in the way you captain and you lead your team. I was, for 7 years, I coached high school football. I was a teacher. I taught English and history. And I thought, in just the next 10 minutes, I want to give you an insight into one of the greatest leaders, maybe the greatest leader in the history of our country. There is a book that I read about 5 years ago called 1776. It is by the Pulitzer Prize-winning author David McCullough. And we all know what happened in 1776, don't we? Huh? A few brave men in this country signed away. They signed a Declaration of Independence. And in so signing, they put at risk the lives, not only of their own lives, but the lives of their family and their friends and their fortunes. This is how David McCullough, the author, describes the Army in 1776. This is the way it was. It was a year of all too few victories. They were getting their ass beat. Sustained suffering, disease, hunger, desertion, cowardice, disillusionment, defeat, retreat, terrible discouragement, fear, as they would never know it and never forget it. In charge of this army was a man named Washington. This is how McCullough describes George Washington. He was not a brilliant strategist. He wasn't a great tactician. He was not a gifted speaker. He was not an intellectual. At crucial moments, he displayed marked indecisiveness. He made serious mistakes in judgment. In other words, in charge of this terribly prepared army was a leader who had lots of weaknesses. But since he had been a young boy, he had learned from his experiences. You know, those things that you do and you make mistakes, and some guys never learn. He was a guy that learned from his mistakes and his experiences. And above all, he never forgot what was at stake. What was at stake were all the lives of the people in his army and himself and their families. That's what was at stake. And most importantly, Washington never gave up. Now, we all know how this story ends because we benefited from what they did. He took this ragtag army and defeated the most powerful army in the world and changed the history of you and me and all of those who will come after us. So from the pages of this book, McCullough's book and Washington's life, this is what the lessons for us are. First, we all have weaknesses. The greatest leader in the history of our country, arguably, had a lot of weaknesses. And so do you. So does every man in this room. We all have weaknesses. And we all make mistakes. You're going to make them as a leader. Your coaches are going to make them. I made them. We all make them. But here's what's important. Learn from your experiences. Learn from the experiences of the other guys on your team, the other leaders. Learn from your experiences. Don't repeat mistakes. Second, never forget, he never forgot his purpose. What is his purpose? Was to keep our country, to keep the freedom that they had declared from the British. What is your purpose? What is your purpose as a leader? And if you have never thought about that, give it some thought. When you leave here today, hopefully you're going to have a better opportunity to answer that question. I commend you. I commend your coaches for coming here today. Because this thing about leadership is often overlooked. We all heard the word a million times. And it took me a long time to really have a better understanding of what it was all about, with a lot of mistakes in there. But today, try to concentrate and pay attention and ask questions, because you got a great opportunity today to learn some important things, that will help you not only in football, but in life, in your life as you go forward. And the third thing we learned from Washington, we never give up. We are going to continue to fight till the last play of the game, regardless of the score, till the last play of the season, regardless of the record. That's what we do. We learn from our experiences. We never forget what our purpose is, and we never give up. So, gentlemen, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to meeting some of you. I don't know if I'll have a chance to meet all of you, but at any rate, it's great to see you and great to be here. Thank you.